Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us here for This Week in Agribusiness. I'm Mike Pearson. Across the country last week, producers continued getting their 2025 crops in the ground and preparing for any challenges they could run into. And that's the topic for this week's Agronomy for Your Acres with our friends from Nutrien Ag Solutions. Nutrien recently cut the ribbon on a new innovation farm outside Champaign, Illinois. And joining me now is Thaddeus Bates. He's a senior manager of Applied Agronomy. And Thaddeus, why is Nutrien spending the money on these innovation farms? How do they help growers?
We consider ourselves a collaboration area. We're working with our growers, we're working with our suppliers. We have a global connection across the board. So we know technology's advancing at a very accelerating rate. We have to stay up to times for our growers and for our business.
I've heard the phrase research at the speed of farming in my conversations with folks from Nutrien Ag Solutions. What does that mean in the context of this sort of investment?
For sure. So research at the speed of farming is a play on words, if you will. We don't do any R&D here. What we do is we pick up where R&D leaves off, and we work with our cooperators, our basic suppliers to, we'll say, get it across the finish line. So we're looking at products 3 years before they receive a label. We're working with our suppliers. That helps the suppliers get the products into the market quicker and helps us understand how they're going to react and work within the environment that they're going to be living in.
That's incredible. So it's real-time research of real products that could be used on the farm. ET3P, those are 4 letters and numbers. What do they mean, and why is that a phrase that's important to the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions?
So I've had to answer the question, what do you do there, quite often? And this is the easiest way that I've developed it. So ET3P came out of the things and the levers that we get to pull in agriculture. So we look at equipment, we look at technology, we look at products, we look at practices, and most important, we look at people. That equation is different for every farm that we work with here at Nutrien Ag Solutions. We know that budgets are different at every farm. We know that manpower is different at every farm. We know that acres are different at every farm. So we take that equation, we apply it to each grower. That helps us understand what the best solution is. With that, we have the bookends of the soil lab with Waypoint, and then we also have our weather team located here in Champaign that help us contribute to those ET3P decisions.
Really strengthening all of those pillars that keep a farm in operation. Now, one of the things I've heard a lot about is machine-enabled agronomy. I understand this is that combination of tech and equipment. What does that mean, and what's coming?
So machine-enabled agronomy is all the components of the data and how it flows from piece to piece and how we can become more efficient. For one good example, we're looking at how we can replicate passes from our planter pass into our sprayer to make sure we're staying off of the crop, keeping the crop up and moving. That way we can reduce fatigue on our operators, making that first pass around the field and making sure that we make the most accurate application on those acres.
That makes sense. Now, Thaddeus, I'd like to take a step back. Look at Nutrien Ag Solutions' broad approach to innovation, and how do you think it sets it apart from others in the space?
So what we've taken, I guess the best example, I'm going to make this real extreme probably for you, but it took 30 years for electricity to reach 10% of the nation once it became available. It took 5 years for tablets to penetrate that same amount of market. So in 30 years, we've exponentially increased the speed at which we can get back out to our consumers, and that's coming to us faster and faster every year. So we have to start looking out further to understand what technology is going to be available to us sooner, is basically what I'm getting at.
That is a fantastic point. To be on the cutting edge, you have to know where the cutting edge is for technology, equipment, and people. Thaddeus Bates, Senior Manager for Applied Agronomy, thank you so much for speaking with us this week.
Mike, thanks for the time today.
And folks, if you'd like to learn more, you can visit nutrienagsolutions.com.